Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Blatstein, and I am the physician that created Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service. Today, I'm going to review the personal narrative and why it's important that your narrative be included in your pre-sentence report. It's a two-part short series. Right now, your narrative and all the information about you that is available online recently has been dispensed by the Department of Justice. And if your experience is like mine it's probably not all that flattering. And so as you prepare for your pre-sentence interview, one of the smarter things you can do is begin to try and change that narrative by creating your own personal narrative. And this is a very key and a very important thing to do, because this is the only thing that future stakeholders in the legal system are reading right now, which means probation officers, the judge, etc. These are what your family, friends, colleagues are reading. And so it's all that's out there. And so as you prepare for your pre-sentence interview, which is your first critical benchmark after the guilty hearing, these are your stakeholders. And for definition's sake, stakeholders in this case are the Congress, because they've created these laws, the judges that implement them, those in the Federal Bureau of Prisons that are responsible for us, and those that everyone else that we have to directly or indirectly come in contact with that will affect our future as they read about us going forward. So probation officers, they are the first persons we come in contact with through the pre-sentence interview. They are the court's representative, and they gather all the information for the court, and they do the investigation. And part of what they're going to do is they ask us what happened. But if we have our own personal narrative, which is going to take 3 months every day, every hour of 3 months, and it could take longer if you have longer to put this together. If you have this written out in an honest format, then you're able to have that conversation with the probation officer. And now they're able to incorporate that content into the pre-sentence interview, which now they're going to draft the pre-sentence report, which is the official document that is going to follow you first to the judge, where the probation officer can recommend your sentence. And the judge, most of the time, will take it under serious advisement. So now we come to the second stakeholder, which is the judge. Most judges are going to have the sentence for you starting a week before your sentencing hearing. Pretty much they know what they're going to say. And during that week period of time, your attorney will have a sentencing memorandum that you will have reviewed with your attorney before they send it in, and they will have that. But judges know that your attorneys are paid to say good things. Should you have now your personal narrative as part of the pre-sentence report, the judge, once he reads it, this may change how they view the sentence that they were initially going to pass judgment on. And so they may choose to have a conversation with you. And this is a good thing, because even if their sentence doesn't change, just having the pre-sentence, just having your personal narrative and the amount of effort it took you over months to put it down on paper has been a cathartic experience for you. Plus, it's now going to follow you through the additional stakeholders that you're going to meet in your future. But the judge may have a conversation with you. You've countered the Department of Justice's narrative. The next stakeholder in line are people that you'll never meet, administration office of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. But they are going to also look at the pre-sentence report and your narrative. And should the court make a placement request in your behalf, they may be more likely to grant it should they see that you have remorse for your actions, for the victims of the crime, you've taken responsibility. They may meet you halfway and grant you that placement request. The next set of stakeholders are going to be all of the correction staff you meet in the prison that you're assigned to. And this is a big deal too, because a subsection of the staff are going to be case managers and unit team. And these individuals, when they get to your pre-sentence report, they're going to review it. And they have a lot of inmates that they deal with, but not all of them are going to have a personal narrative. And so once they see that you had remorse for your actions, for the actions on your victims, that you accepted responsibility for the crime that you did, that you're ashamed for the impact it had on your family and your community, it may affect them because they have responsibility. They affect your sleeping arrangements, whether you get a lower bunk or a bottom bunk or an upper bunk, how quickly you get to participate in the First Step Back programs, because you have to take a survey exam, SPAR 13, to get into the program. It has information regarding your medical care. Also, how quickly they are to advocate for your transfer into a halfway house. And from the perspective of the halfway house, there's a limit. There's not enough beds in the halfway houses to accept all of the people who are entitled to be there. But the halfway house does have a chance to decide who they want. And so if they review your pre-sentence report, or if the case management unit team mentions it's your personal narrative and the fact that you could be an outstanding inmate in that halfway house, that may set you above the other candidates into getting that last remaining bed space to allow you to transition there as a better candidate. And then it could also allow you to transition more quickly to home confinement with a more receptive probation officer during supervised release. So, in summary, this personal narrative may give you the opportunity to interact directly with the judge, which is the first time and only time, well, not only, but it will be the first time the judge will be able to meet you and see you. And so a good first impression is paramount for you to be able to present yourself in the best possible light. I hope you found this helpful. My phone number, should you have any questions, is 240-888-7778 on the web, PPRSUS.com physician pre-sentence report service. I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for listening.